Mm,
What are you playing?
This God of War.
Hey, that shit is so dope. So we live, just so y'all know. We live. Uh Giving people a little bit of the background into what we do when we try to meet. Because we have a lot of meet in some of our meetings that we don't always bring out to everybody because well I don't even, I guess it's because we either too fucked up by the end of the show or the end of what we're saying or whatever the case may be. But
Jig,
impromptu
Jig,
live.
you don't have no clothes on by the end of the segment.
Oh, I love being naked. I love being naked. It's my favorite.
Yeah, man.
But anyways, y'all talking about a second ago.
What you mean? What we
You
talking
said
about?
there. You
What?
was talking about There was talking. He said he was talking to like an OG, an older guy, and you was
Just
telling him
about
the difference. Yeah,
the difference in
difference between
generations and stuff.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a older gentleman. Like I say, he was from the 60s, 70s era. I'm from 80s, 90s era. And he was telling me that the crime and not just crime, but just how bad the community is was worse back in the day than it is nowadays. And I disagreed with him. I was like, no way, no way in hell. I think today is more crazier than
And
even
I
from
agree
me
with
in
you.
the 80s and 90s and versus even in the 2000s. What you
So
say, G?
let's think about that for a second. Y'all think like today is a little bit more crazier,
I do.
or is it just that the shit that gets recorded and put on these types of platforms more frequently? Because remember, we can't remove ourselves from the '80s and from some of us. I'm an '80s baby. I was born in 1980, so I'm what's called a zennial. Actually, y'all are zennials also because time frame that y'all were born. You're not Generation X. You're an actual zennial. But if you think about how shit was going, like we was just talking about different type of drugs, heroin and then crack. The difference between the drugs now versus then is the exposure because you had to be within a certain little click to be exposed to certain things at a specific time, right? So if motherfuckers that hang out with us, right? If we didn't know dudes like outside of the family, we weren't finna be like, hey, let's blow this L, let's
No, we
roll
had to
Right.
up.
watch him. We had to watch him roll it up.
We had to watch motherfuckers roll shit up. We had to see what folks was doing because you
Right.
know we you trust but verify. And if it
But you
wasn't
definitely have
family,
to do that now also because they putting fentanyl on everything.
that's what I heard. I'm gonna come back around to that because somebody a woman was sharing a story on a
Like,
TikTok.
who wants to smoke a blunt and die from fentanyl?
Jesus jumped up. I don't know. So it
Nobody.
back like so when we
Nobody
was
ever
growing
goes
up,
into like, oh, I'm definitely hit this L and be
yeah,
like, I plan on dying afterwards. Nobody ever. You gonna go want to go make you a sandwich, and you're probably gonna want to go take a nap. But ain't nobody else said I'm finna light this L up and then I'm gonna die. Nobody. Nobody.
yeah. So when we was growing up, like what we was looking out for was dips. Is
Yeah.
motherfucker if motherfucker was dipping some shit, or if somebody was doing primos,
That's what the
because
embalming
we
fluid,
wasn't.
right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
a dip was embalming fluid, and a primo was when was dudes was wrapping weed up with coke crack rather,
Right.
not coke but
Yeah.
What?
crack.
People
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
and
doing
we
that?
yes.
Oh, that was
So
a staple.
when we wouldn't like it was a
Oh
little
my
bit of an
God. Like,
unspoken
how
rule.
high do you need to be,
So
people?
Wanda, you was more. It was crazy because you was shunned upon for smoking crack through like a pipe or something back in the day, but
Right,
Yes.
you could light up a primo and people and that was cool. All the gangsters did it. All the you know what I'm saying. You know what
Absolutely
I'm saying.
not. No,
All the
sir.
big
yeah.
G's
So
did it.
Nope.
we
No,
wasn't
thank.
on
Nope.
it. We wasn't on it. We wasn't on it.
I'm
Right.
just saying.
Never heard
we
this in
we
my
did a
life.
lot of stuff, but some of the things that we, again, like we said during our last live last Friday, there was an ethic and code of the streets that we played by. Women and children were off limits. If
Facts.
you doing certain things and certain things happen to you, well, then that's just part of the game. But one of the things that was unspoken is if you don't smoke primos, if you don't smoke dips, right? Somebody got to, like, if unless it was some sneaky shit, the folks you with got to announce that, like, oh yeah, I'm finna get wet tonight, and then you know that you can't smoke weed with them guys because they finna dip.
Hmm. A whole
And
different
then
party. Everybody know they
yeah,
saying everybody know they how they everybody get down. So
right. And I wasn't getting down. Like back in the day, it was all chronic. It
yeah.
was all chronic, and that's it. It
Mm-mm.
wasn't. There was no mixing, nothing. Right. So
Mm-mm.
that was a difference. So nowadays,
Why my body turning
people
like
are
stupid?
people are sneaking stuff in into folks'
You was like reading.
they sneaking stuff into different things, but not just that. But these kids are okay with like actually doing drugs. Marijuana isn't a drug to me. Marijuana ain't a drug. But when you begin
Primo
to talk
City.
about,
Where that's at? Where's
No,
Primo
no,
City?
no,
oh, there's
no.
comments. I didn't
We
expect there
talking
to be comments because we was just
we talking about nowadays, like with the you know what I'm saying, with the perks, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Lean always been in effect. But nowadays they they done update,
Okay,
you know what
and
I'm
that's
saying?
one thing I never understood. That whole lean situation. Like, who wants to sit up and drink NyQuil? That shit is disgusting.
I don't like being that slow because I like to fight. I like to be ready for fights. That's part of my issue. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out how to mature out of. I have always loved, I will always do my best to stop any physical interaction. But once we get there, damn it, let's do it. I'm all in, and I
Like,
love it. This is a part of who I am. I grew up like, so we all grew up being people of peace, injustice, and do good. That's how our parents tried to raise us, right? In a certain fashion, right? If ain't nobody trying to provoke you, we never went out just like flat out bullying people, but
that's
we
Yeah,
true.
protect
That is very
ourselves,
true. We were
a
very
bully is
humble
white. Bully
individuals.
is white.
That's very
right?
true.
And that's what I'm saying. We didn't go out like bullying and fighting and trying to yada yada yada.
Right.
But if
Cause my kids weak nowadays, man. And I think
Okay.
the
No,
school
they're
is
not.
making them weak.
No,
They
they're
weak.
not. No,
They
they're
you think
are.
not.
who was making them weak,
My kids. Cause they all man, they come home all the time and they be like, man, uh such and such did something to me and such and such pushed me. What you do, son? I went and told. All right, this week one.
Because their
Week
hands are for helping, not hurting. My niece
week
told
I'm
me
two.
with
that.
you.
My
Week
niece
two.
I'm with
told
my
me
Oh
that.
man
man.
right here.
She
Week
So
said,
two.
remember,
TT,
Such
our
fly.
and such
hands are
did
for helping, not hurting.
such and such pushed me in the grass and he said, eat dirt. What you do? I went and told.
Not
This
today.
week four. This a
We
month
finna
in the
have
school,
it.
son. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
we
saying? I
battle it
need
out.
something. Cause you beat your little brother up at home all week long. You know what I'm saying?
That part, right?
Then you go to school and then you go and you what? You tell? And I'm not with telling. I'm not against it. But come on now.
Yeah.
Some
Now, my
point you gotta
thing
defend
is,
yourself,
people,
son.
like, I be like, okay, yes, words may hurt your feelings, but as long as they don't put their hands on you, don't put your hands on nobody.
He done had his
Now,
hands put on him too many times. We didn't have to
but,
trust the teachers.
there's a but.
Hmm.
People be getting real slick with the lips, and sometimes you just gotta, like,
Look, there comes a little bit of a time where you really have to weigh in the balance the words versus the physical punishment. And I done heard motherfuckers talk so slick to where I'm like, nah, this motherfucker got to get knocked out.
Yeah, yeah. And cause Chips
nah,
got
this
slick
motherfucker gotta
mouth.
get knocked out.
I'm like,
That's
all right, sis,
facts.
you got about one more
I ain't even
though.
backing up off of that.
And it's
Like,
and it's coming from the twins. You know what I'm saying? So I had to
yeah,
look at the other one like, so son, what was you doing when your brother was getting pushed down? I wouldn't have
uh,
told you. Oh, I'm done with this situation.
Because
good.
they don't want to get in trouble.
And that's what I'm
They don't want to
saying.
miss
They
and they
so
don't want to
having
miss
this
what
zero
so you need to
tolerance.
explain to them defending yourself will not get you in trouble.
I- And that's
So
what I'm in.
me and Carlos, we were in fourth grade. Actually, we went to summer school. We went to summer school, and
Hey Nisi, you so
what's going on,
silly.
AT? It was this
She
one
is
dude.
silly.
We used to call him
Don't
Fat
be
John.
laughing at them,
Oh
baby.
shit, I didn't even know we had comments. My bad.
Yeah, it's been going down. I didn't know either because
What up,
again,
dog?
this
My
is
bad.
flat out impromptu. We didn't plan this, but we've
Uh-huh.
been quote unquote meeting for the last
We're
hour and
meeting
some
for
change, right?
Friday.
And it's been going great. A lot of y'all like so we do our best in our lives, but we have a huge chunk of very real like really relevant conversation whenever we're just meeting, just the three of us. And tonight we just decided to let people in on what we talk about whenever we
And what
just
goes
meet.
on in our meetings.
Yeah, what goes on in our meetings. So back to the story. So me and Carlos, right? We was in summer school. Miss Hunter was our teacher,
It
and
was
we
at
went.
Hodgin. I
It
remember
was
Miss
at
Hunter from
Hodgin.
Hodgin.
It was at Hodgin, yeah.
He was a mean
And
old
so
bat.
we went to recess, and this one dude we called him Fat John. He was
Call him
always
what?
talking Fat John. We called him Fat John because there was no cancel culture back in those days.
Because y'all will definitely get canceled today.
Right. He was Fat
Okay,
John. And
let me do a disclosure real quick. A disclaimer: the words that are spoken are not in what is it?
today's context.
Are it's not in
Or not the
today's
comments
context,
of the family
right?
bloodline.
So we do not condone nor do we applaud bullying of any sort. Okay, continue.
Right,
Not a
right. But Fat John was a bully. He was a bully. And you know, we were poor. And we was
Oh
going to
my
school in
god.
buddies and you know, maybe not smelling the greatest and didn't have on the best or flyest fits at that time. And Fat John kept talking shit.
Thank the Lord for evolution.
Right. But I told Fat John one day because I got sick of his shit. I was like, I'm finna kick your motherfucking ass. Fat John, I'm finna kick your ass
Now,
at recess.
did Pastor Aunt Cat know you were talking like this in school?
Of course not. Just like our kids think that we don't know they curse. We know our
Right?
kids curse.
No, we do.
Right?
Man, we
Yeah,
did that.
Right?
exactly. We've been through this.
We got caught up
So
on the same stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, and they
exactly.
swear that I was never their age.
Right.
My
Right.
daughter
So
came
I
upstairs
told
the
Fat
other
John.
day.
Go ahead, Wanda.
My daughter came upstairs the other day talking about that her sister cussed at her. And I
Okay.
say, what she say?
Get out, Annie.
I said, what she say? She said she called me an ugly B word because I told her something. I told her to do something and she wasn't trying to do it. So
I
I was
got
like,
something funny, Wanda. When you get down, I'm sorry.
all right. I'm like, tell her she better
Where
watch her
y'all?
mouth. Then she gonna
I,
come upstairs.
shit.
Mama, I said stupid face. Okay, now you think I'm stupid. Now I'm the
Right.
stupid face. Now
Right.
I'm the stupid face.
Exactly. Like, nah, let's not do that. We
I'm
know
like, are you
they
seriously
curse.
saying that you really think I think you say stupid face to your sister?
Mm-mm.
I'm like, please get out of my face before I hit you. Like, it's been a long time. I'm like, get out of my face because I'm gonna hit you.
Don't hit that baby.
Cause you think I'm dumb. You think I was born in last night. I was born at night. It wasn't last night though.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
damn stupid face. Get out of here.
So I told y'all about the twins, you know what I'm saying, the little school situation with the little kids at school. And so we get an email from the teacher. Email says, yes, we get they on the playground today, and Tobias flips the bird at one of the other students.
That's one of my favorite things. I do that so quick, like,
So when so my
You gotta
wife tell me
have a
that,
face with it though, cuz you gotta have a face like
so- but when my
'cause
wife tell me,
that's the impression.
right, all day, all day. So when I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So when my wife tell me, she say, yeah, the teacher emailed me today that Tobias flipped the bird at one of the one of the other students. My first reaction was like, my son finally getting
Right.
that aggression. He getting that
Exactly.
aggression. He's standing
Yeah.
up for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a start. You know what I'm saying? So when he come home and we get the email, you know what I'm saying? He come home and we having a conversation with him. He was like, no, my bus driver, every time
she said, what?
he saving my bus driver. He, man, I love the bus driver. You know what I'm saying? He's like, my bus driver, you know what I'm saying? Was she getting road rage? He didn't say road rage, but when she be driving, she just get the flicking them, you know what I'm saying, at other people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, I'm just dying laughing.
The
He like,
bus
what?
driver is teaching the kids bad manners.
So it don't went from, you know what I'm saying, me thinking my son finally getting this aggression out, you know what I'm saying, to
Yeah.
like, man, you just copycat, you know what I'm saying? Mm, but but in all actuality, it's the same reaction though. You
It
know what I'm saying?
is.
It's
It
a
Yeah.
is.
frustration
Yeah.
moment. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we
He
know
got
beating
he
Brian
was sick
down the
of it. He got road rage
right.
on the playground. Was like,
Look, I believe in cussing, and my kids don't know it yet, right? But when if they start cursing, I will begin to encourage it because I understand and I think that as long as it's done appropriately, it expresses something that you need to get out that you can't find any other vernacular, any other word,
It's no
phrase,
other word for
terminology.
it. Correct.
Right.
yeah, because sometimes I just be like, damn it.
Facts.
Like, and
Actually, like Wanda, one of the reasons why I began to start like taming my language. So I was horrible with cussing, horrible. And one of
I
my
think grannies, all
mentors,
grannies use our swear words like art form.
yeah.
All grannies got that.
But one of my mentors is like, hey, you gotta stop cussing so much. And I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was back in the day, and you was just like, damn it. So I started replacing all of my cuss words with damn it, right? To make shit sound a little bit different. But I would inherently be like, at least I got a cuss word out. I can't say fuck these motherfuckers because they ain't worth shit. I just got to be like, well, damn it, this didn't happen, and it should have.
Hey
So I,
Jig,
I love cursing. I love curse words. Yeah.
I just wanna shout out Zoe and Manny one time for the one time for always
Let's
showing
do
love.
it.
Oh, hey, Nisi wants to know what happened to Fat John. Hey, Nisi,
Oh,
don't be
okay. I'm
encouraging
Oh,
sorry.
that.
I
We
did
do
not. I
oh,
did
not
not that
condone.
that story.
We
My
do
oh, you
apologies.
not
My
did.
apologies.
condone
AT.
that
My bad,
My
nasty.
mom.
apologies. My apologies. So
Yeah, we
so
got
And
what
my
some
happened
mom.
with
And,
Fat
grandchildren.
and,
John?
Don't
and we
be
want to
getting
shout out
called.
my mama too. Like I say,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. What's going on, AT? Thank you for
It's
always
water.
being
Everybody, I
present
got to
and
work in the
being a
morning. It's
force in
water.
our lives. We love you. We absolutely love you. Auntie Denise. So if you never heard us give you a shout out before, well, here it is right now on an impromptu live. We love you. So actually, give me a second. I got to go refill my glass because this is actually a meeting night. It's not a live night. So we're
It's
doing
not
some
a
shit a
live
little
night,
bit different.
guys. We're meeting.
Give me a second. Oh, fuck. I forgot. I brought my bottle with me.
Me
So,
too. I had to pull it up next to me. I'm drinking. I'm
yeah,
drinking
I,
with
I
Goose.
totally forgot. I totally forgot.
Well, I
So what
have to
happened
be
to
at work
Fat
in the
John?
morning, so I'm drinking water.
Me
I gotta be
too.
at work too.
But hey, look here, they gonna get
It was a rough day today.
dirt tomorrow.
Yeah.
They gonna
It
get
was,
turned when even though they gonna get dirt tomorrow. Like I'm gonna
yeah.
pull up at
Yeah.
some mud like what y'all on?
Wow.
Like I ain't gotta work to that tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, what y'all on? Why y'all just
Yeah.
huddled up?
Yeah. Today was a rough day, and I had to
Oh
monitor
God.
myself. I was just trying to change brainwaves. Anyway, so
My day was just busy. It wasn't even rough. It was just busy.
what happened with Fat John? Just to continue
Quit
that
calling
story.
that man that.
No, that's who he is.
That's
That's
what
who
we
he
gonna
was,
like
and that's
tonight.
who he will
What if
remain
Fat John
to
not
be
fat no
so
more?
forever.
He
I don't
probably
give a
not.
fuck. Like he was then, so that's how I remember him. And I might have came across him on several different occasions in my life at this point. But
That
he
John went in the
looked
neighborhood,
different.
was he?
No, that was so the army.
That
Sean
was
Canto. Sean Canto. If I ever come across him, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Anyway,
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. No. What happened?
We were talking about Fat John, but somebody named
We
Sean
said
Cancer.
John and he went to
Sean
anyway, go
Canto.
ahead, move forward.
Okay, what else?
So
Okay, what else happened? What happened
so
to
so we were
FAT
in
John?
the homeroom with Miss Hunter, and Fat John kept talking shit. And so I tell Fat John, I'm gonna knock your ass. I'm gonna kick your ass, right? And this is hygiene. So if you know anything about hygiene, you make your name off of kicking motherfuckers' asses or playing basketball.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah,
He was good
and I
at
just
both of them, huh?
facts. That's just oddly enough.
Zoe on
So
one tonight.
Zoe is on one. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate you,
I
bro.
love it.
Right. So
Like
we go out to
familiar.
recess, and Carlos whispers in my ear. And I don't know where he got this from, but he had a master fucking plan. And Carlos says, "Cuz, don't hit him when you get upset. I'm gonna give you a sign." And I'm like, "I bet."
Yeah, tag.
So back in the day, like in hygiene, you got the schoolyard. We went to all the way in the back as you are facing the quote unquote at the time of the back left hand corner, where there was a green bar and there was a hole in the fence. And then the twins,
Yep.
Sabrina and Regina were there. And Carlos and I were crushing on them, which did not help Fat John's case. But so we went back there and I found Fat John. Now, Fat John had been joning on me, truth be told, and I did not appreciate the Jones because we were poor. And he was right. he was right.
Hey, every
And not
joke
just that.
has true facts to it.
Yeah, and
No matter
he's
what.
right. And not just that, but Fat John was white and hygiene. So I can't let this shit slide.
Oh Lord.
So me and Carlos
Okay, so my
slowly,
visual of Fat John has completely changed. So continue.
yeah. I didn't say what his ethnicity was on purpose. So we finally, Carlos
It
and
don't
I,
matter. All kids are
yeah,
brutal at that age.
That's true because I wouldn't have gave a fuck if he was white, black, Japanese, Hispanic. His ass was gonna be well whooped that day. So
Oh my God.
so Carlos, as we are walking out to the playground, Carlos is giving me all these tips on fighting and what we need to do. Lowe's had a
You right
master
back, bro. You
plan.
should have been on. He was on some devious shit from the jump. You hear me?
Right. And I'm listening to him because Lowe's and I are separated by about 6-7 months. And I'm like, all right, this is my big cousin. He's telling me what to do. So pull up in the corner, and there's Fat John by himself. And this is opportunity. Now, we didn't notice that there was a crowd following us back to Fat John as we're walking to this spot.
That's because Los had everything all set up.
He had that shit planned out. I didn't know it. He had that shit fucking planned out. I didn't know it.
Oh
So
my God.
So in true fat form, I'm like, Fat John, you was saying something in class and I didn't like it. What do you got to say now? And Fat John was like, well, you guys look like you're poor. And I was like, you're a dickhead. Because at that time, that was a big thing, right? So back and forth, Fat John and I. And then I remind him that I'm going to kick his ass. And he was like, well, what are you going to do? And I literally told him, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to hit you in your face. And I'm probably going to try and stomp you out.
Y'all talked it out. Y'all had a conversation at that point. Okay.
Exactly. So
He had
Fat
opportunity
John
to
is
walk
like,
away.
no, well, I should have walked away. But Fat John is like, if you hit me, I'll tell the teachers. And I was like, the teachers know my mama. I don't care because my mama went to this school too. Bitch, I'm legacy essentially, and I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Oh,
That's where I
can I
was
stop
with
you
it.
there though? Can I
Yeah.
stop you there real quick? So speaking of your mom going to that school, which means my daddy went to
Yep.
that school also.
Yep. They
So
all had the same
I
teachers.
went to that school also.
Yep.
And when I got to my teacher's class the first day of school, you know how they go through the roll call.
Last name.
They like such and such Barnes, LaWanda Calvin.
Calvin.
Go to the office.
She looked at me. She stopped. She literally just stopped. She looked at me. She stared at me for a good 5 minutes. The lady name was Miss Titus.
I know Miss Titus. I remember Miss Titus.
She
I remember
looked
Miss
at me
Titus.
for a good 5 minutes. She said, is your daddy named Edward Calvin? I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. Get your book. Get your backpack.
Get
Take
out of
that
my
desk.
class.
And you scoot over there by me. That lady made me sit by her desk the entire school year because of something that my daddy did 80 years ago.
Well, it wasn't that old.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably about 70 years ago.
I am upset. And to this day, my daddy has not told me what he did to that lady.
Well, clearly.
He don't remember. He probably did so much stuff.
I was like, what? I'm like, you don't even
What I
know
will
me.
say is good job, Good job.
I got some stories about your daddy from high school
I was like,
that I didn't talk about. But I'm just.
But anyway, go ahead, Fat.
Okay, so back to Fat John.
I gotta go to bed.
I know.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Again, impromptu live. We didn't come on with the song. We
already got our topics that we're doing Friday anyway. So
I'm
we just
sorry if this is gonna mess with y'all, but this is where we are. We've been drinking. We had a long day. All of us. We tired. We just vibing as family. So I warned Fat John again, and I told him I'm gonna kick his ass because that was a promise. I've always been a person of my word. So I look at Carlos for validation. For some reason, at this point in life, I thought the Carlos Demetrius Calvin was the point of validation I needed. I said his whole Christian name. Right. And Carlos very subtly gave me the nod, like, kick his ass. So I began to slowly walk up on Fat John, and I started remembering the lessons that Lance had taught me when we used to have to always fight Lance and shit. And I get up on Fat John, and I quit joning, I quit talking, and I square up. Well, unbeknownst to me, Carlos had already crept around the backside of Fat John, and he got on all fours. He's literally a few inches away from Fat John's heels. And I yell out, this was like one of my first fights outside of the family. I literally yell out, fuck you, Fat
outside
John.
of the family. That's crazy.
Because we used to fight all the time. That's a disclaimer for everybody that don't know us, how we grew up. right?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I literally yell out. It was like something inherent, like inert. I just couldn't help it. I literally yell out, "Fuck you, Fat John!" And I cock back. I see his face. It's like a target. It's full, and I see his chin. And I remember Lance always telling me, if you're gonna knock somebody out, hit them in their chin. And so I aim for his chin. And to me, it's slow motion because I'm hurting somebody outside the family for the first time. And I connect. Back. That's what it sounded like. It was like one of those sounds, like it was skin connecting to skin, and you knew it, and a penetration of skin connecting to bone with a very impactful interception. Back. Fat John stumbles back. Now, Fat John was taller than me at that time. Remember, I didn't get tall until 9th grade, right? So Fat John was taller than me, and I was a skinny kid. But I hit him with as much force as I could. And I remember after I swung and I hit him and I connected, my whole body down there turned around, trying to make sure he felt that shit. So by the time I recognized what's happening, Fat John is stumbling backwards. And then I remember, look down at his heels, and there's Carlos.
Hello, gotcha.
There's
Knocked
Carlos
out.
at his heels, and Fat John tumbles over. Carlos is while Carlos is on all fours and laughing at this point, mind you. I see Carlos with a full ass grin. He's laughing. Fat John is stumbling backwards. And the only thing that I can relate it to is the motherfucker from Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Whenever you hit him, he's just kind of like looks at you like weird, like, did you really just hit me? And his feet just kick up. And he falls backwards. And then he hits Carlos. Well, he wasn't ready for Carlos. And I see his momentum shift. And he plummets. And I watch this shit in anticipation of him hitting the ground.
Hey,
And he
cuz
hit.
when we do this story, like Zoe say, it's the best story ever. When we do this story, let me do the narration.
For sure. You got it. You got
Let
it.
me do the narration. I
Y'all
got
are
it.
silly as hell. Y'all are so
You
silly.
got it, cuz.
Let me do
So
the narration.
Fat John hits the blacktop because that's what we had in high school.
We
We didn't
did. We
have
had
all this other
asphalt.
bullshit. It was asphalt blacktop. It was rough. He hits, and I see his body wave because Fat John was fat.
Oh, see, I can do all that narration. Oh, big swings. Carlos already in position.
Los
He
was in
swings.
position.
Boom. He
Los
falls.
Fat
was my
John body
second.
says blue, blue, blue.
Los my
Yeah.
second. Candy was my
Chin
first.
connects. You know what I'm saying?
He
Oh,
said
body
blue,
falls.
blue,
It
blue, blue.
it ripples like a wave.
Blue,
It
You see what I'm
was.
saying, dude? Give me
That
the
shit rippled
give me
from both
give me the
sides.
What
narration.
was John last name? I'm finna find him on Facebook.
I
No,
cannot
we
remember
ain't
his
doing that,
last
Wanda.
name.
Look
What I
at you
do
can do
remember,
it, see, Wanda.
what I do remember is John had like a bowl cut, short brown hair with brown eyes, and he was a fucking asshole to everybody because he thought he was
Well,
better.
he probably didn't glowed up by now.
I'll still knock his ass out. I don't give a
Why you
fuck.
can't
But
laugh hard, Manny?
With the ripple
I'm just
effect.
saying,
Why Manny?
no,
Why
he
you
can't. Like my man can't laugh too hard right now. He can't. He really
Oh,
can't.
Manny.
Yeah,
But I gotta
he-
go. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, so I think it was a great time. Impromptu. We got some stuff happening for Friday. We got topics lined out, family, and hopefully y'all come back and join in on the discussion.
Love you,
we'll
man.
be
Zoe. Love you, mama, for tuning in.
I know. Y'all
Absolutely.
didn't even have to be here. We just chatting it up.
We
We've
was chatting
been
it
thinking
up.
about implementing a Wednesday night, and transforming it from a Friday to a Wednesday night where
With it, just to
more
let
people
y'all
are more subtle and more at home, and as opposed to the
that's
weekend when everybody out doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we probably
it's
gonna
a
move
meeting
it to
night.
Wednesdays, everybody.
it's a meeting night, and I never actually gave y'all my answer, but I'm actually very willing to do it on a Wednesday night. I think it'd be better for us, and then we can do it
Wednesdays
on
on
Fridays.
Friday.
But
Yes, for sure.
let's switch over to Wednesdays, and we'll push that information out, and then I also got to push out the results from last week's football. Wanda got to do dances, right? So thank y'all for joining, and we're not gonna have no music tonight. We just came on just because we've been doing this, and we started having fun.
He said Wednesday and Friday. Oh my God.
That's not we won't take it off the table, right?
Right.
But it's something that we got to talk about as a group, right?
Because I've been talking to my football buddies, you know what I'm saying, when we doing this so we got the little fantasy group, and I told them we can do it live, you know what I'm saying? I told them we got a platform, so
Yeah,
if we want to get on and talk about fantasy football or football, Wanda, you ain't got to jump on, or if you don't feel like it, or you know what I'm saying. So I got some, you know what I'm saying. We can line some stuff up.
Yeah, if it's like a 30, like Zoe was saying, like 35, 45 minutes, just for a quick Friday, and we do quick updates just so that everybody knows.
Yes,
I know.
30, 45 minutes.
We be trying.
We do. But it's just so much happening. But anyway, this Friday, we've got some great topics that are dealing with LGBTQ plus platforms as well as using the N-word. So we'll be hitting it. So, thank you all for watching. God bless. Good night.
Bye, y'all.